Welcome back, Gameyaaad family. Thank you so much for joining us for another video. Now in this video, we are going to be previewing the first ODI match between England and West Indies in England. In fact, that match will be played at Edgbaston and it will start tomorrow at 8 a.m. here in Jamaica. Now, this series is a very important series for both West Indies and England, more so West Indies, because West Indies are currently sitting on 9th position in the ICC ODI ranking. They are 3 points behind England, and as you know, for the 2027 World Cup, it will be the top 8 teams will automatically qualify, and West Indies will not want to be in that qualifying situation similar to what would have transpired back in 2023, right, when we would have missed out on that World Cup. So this series will be pivotal. Points are at stake, and I believe West Indies would want to gain all the points that are available. West Indies would have been on the back of I would say probably a disappointing series in Ireland, where that series would have drawn 1 apiece. The second match would have been rained out. West Indies, they would have lost that first match, and to be fair to the guys, they have not played ODI cricket within about 5 months coming into that series, and you could see that they would have lost a lot of match sharpness, and so they would have bounced back really well in the second ODI, scoring I believe 352, right, and in the final match they would have scored 385. So I would have seen vast improvements over those 3 games, and that these conditions are very tough conditions in the UK, right? So on the flip side of things, when we look on England team, they are in a transitional phase. Harry Brook would have taken over from Josh Butler. Josh Butler would have lost some important, in fact they would have done poorly in some global events dating back to 2023. In that World Cup they would have performed poorly in terms of the Champions Trophy, recently concluded Champions Trophy. They would have lost all 3 matches against South Africa, Afghanistan, and also Australia, right? And sandwich in between those two would have been the T20 World Cup, the 2024 World Cup, which would have taken place in the West Indies, and they would have done poorly in that, are below par, or below what would have been expected from their fans. So England is in a transitional phase. As this series would be Hard Rock first test. As Josh Butler would have given up the captaincy, and as they would have lost that series in India leading up to the Champions Trophy. They were trashed in India 3-0, right, in ODIs there, and that they would have lost that series in the West Indies 2-1. So they have been on a poor run of form, I would say. This is not the England that we would have seen in 2019, that championship team, right? So they are, it may be a good time for West Indies to play England. I am not sure, even though West Indies have not won a series in England since 2007, right? So the last series that West Indies would have played in England would have been in 2017, and they were badly beaten 4-0 there. When we look on both teams, I believe West Indies probably kind of more settled in terms of their especially their top 8, right? So And I mean, England, it's like it's hard to really predict England, because Jamie Smith, for example, he would have performed poorly at number 3 in the Champions Trophy. He would have made 59 and a duck, right? And now he has been elevated to the opening position where he will open in this series with Ben Duckett, right? So I mean, it's hard to really predict. And I mean, one of the things that we are looking at also is the fact that but Gus Atkinson, Mark Hood, Jafra Archer, those three main, steamers, they are out of the series due to injury. And from the West Indies point of view, Romario Shepherd and Sheffield Rutherford, they would have missed out due to IPL obligation. I really and truly, I would have want those two, players to be in the lineup for us to have a stronger unit. And because, as I would have said, a lot of points are up for stake, and we need to maximize on all the points that are available, right? So looking on both teams, I believe that from the West Indies standpoint, I think coming into this series, our opening batters, they are under the pump right now. They are under the microscope. Evan Lewis and Brandon King, we haven't had, any, good partnership at the top. Our middle order has been firing, and which is a good thing leading into this series. But we need some partnerships at the top, with Evan Lewis and Brandon King. To be fair to them, they are two quality players, and I believe that Sammy will continue with them. Class is permanent, and I believe at the right time these two, destructive batters at the top, they will click, right? And I hope that they will click in this series for the West Indies. As you know, Brandon King would have made, if you remember that, century he would have made, against England last year. To close out that series. I think in that series, in that match, I think it was at Kensington, he would have made, a century along with Casey Carty would have made at 128. And against Bangladesh, Brandon King would have made, 82 runs against them as well. We remember Evan Lewis at 102 against Sri Lanka late last year, and also that fluent 94 that he would have made against England. So we know that these two batters have, the potential, and I hope that they will fire. I know they are under the microscope, and I hope that they will, give us something to smile about in this series. As I said, our middle order batters, they are firing. Casey Carty, as you know, he's in, a purple patch right now, and I hope that his, Rich Veil and form will continue in this series. He would have made, that 170 against Ireland in that third ODI. He would have made 102 from 109 deliveries. And one of the things I noticed with Casey Carty, that 170 innings would have, put him, in a different class. When a player not only want to make just 100, but they want to make big 100. It tells something about that player, right? So I expect Casey Carty form to continue. But as you know, England has its challenges in terms of the conditions, and so we will have to wait and see how our boys will perform in England. Now, as it relates to England, the big talking point is Jacob Bettel, because Test captain Ben Stokes would have said something in the media, and he said that what he had said would have been taken out of context to fit a certain agenda. And what he would have said is basically that one player that can elevate from the ODI to the Test team would be Jacob Bettel. So Jacob Bettel would be under the microscope for this series, right? As you know, the Bayesian born is a very talented cricketer. In fact, he was in the IPL and he was recalled by England. Also, Will Jack and the others, they would have been recall from. So you see that England is taking this, series seriously, right? Harry Brook, you will, have to wait and see how, he will perform under pressure. It will be a big test for him as captain, and but he will have those, experienced players around him. Josh Butler will be there. Joe Root will be there as well to give him some encouragement and also some insights in terms of how he should approach the game, or in terms of some decision making on the field. Right. So all in all, it will be a very tough test for the West Indies, playing away from home. Edgbaston, as it relates to the conditions, the Edgbaston would have not hosted ODI match since 2021, right? And based on the pitch overall, I think generally the pitch is a high scoring pitch. I can remember that 408 that England would have made there, and so it may be a pitch for batting. In fact, this week, I think on Tuesday, rain would have fallen, and it would have hampered West Indies practicing there. I'm not sure if they would have gotten any practice indoor, but in terms of the weather, I think they are saying that it may not affect the game substantially. So we are hoping that the rain will stay away. But it's a lot to think about. So looking on the England team, they would have brought specialist spinner. So the idea is whether or not they think that the pitch will be spinning. So if that be the case, then Buddha Kishimoto will become very important for us on tour. So really think that I really think that Buddha Kishimoto has not been performing up to par in which we would normally expect him. But I hope that he will become he will come good on this tour, really need these points to aid in our World Cup qualification. So looking on both sides, I believe that both squads they are very strong, both very strong squads, and really want to see what West Indies will do with Jedediah Blades in this tournament. Not sure if he will be there for developmental purposes or he will play. As you know, his ODI debut did not go down really according to plan, but I believe that this young man, he has talent, and he's a left arm pace, so he will be exploiting different angles, right, which a right hand bowler cannot exploit, right? So it will be very, very I will be very, very keen to see what Darren Sammy will be doing with Jedediah Blades in this series. Looking on both squad, I expect West Indies to be going into this match with the same 11 from that third ODI played against Ireland, with Evan Lewis and Brandon at the top, Casey Carty at number 3, Shea Hope number 4, Amir Jangu number 5, Justin Grave number 6, Ruston Chase number 7, Matthew Ford number 8, Buddha Kishimoto number 9, Zara Joseph number 10, Jaden Seals number 11. Looking on the England team, I expect Jamie Smith and Ben Duckett to open the batting. Number 3 would be Joe Root. Number 4 would be Harry Brook. Number 5 would be Josh Butler. Number 6, Jacob Bethel. Number 7 would be Will Jack. Number 8, Jamie Overton. Number 9 would be Bryden Cars. Number 10 would be Adil Rashid. Number 11 would be Saqib Mahmood. As I would have said before, these are two very strong squad. I expect England to come at West Indies hard, right? They have some hard hitters at the top of the innings, and I expect Joe Root to play the anchor role, right? So it's two very good squad, two very good team, and I hope that West Indies will come out on top. Thank you so much for joining us on this video. Please remember to hit that subscribe button as you are going out, and stay tuned to Gameyaaad TV as we have much more to come in this series.
Belo, 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 belo.